Imagine standing in the middle of your home, surrounded by piles of clothes you haven't worn in years, gadgets you barely use, and papers you've long forgotten the purpose of. Your mind feels as crowded as the space around you, buzzing with to-do lists, notifications, and the nagging sense that you're falling behind. You crave peace, a sense of calm that feels out of reach in a world that demands more. More stuff, more success, more everything. What if the secret to the simplicity and serenity you're yearning for isn't found in adding more, but in letting go? What if the path to a clutter-free, peaceful life every day lies in ancient Japanese wisdom, in practices that invite you to strip away the excess and rediscover what truly matters? Today, I'm going to guide you through the Japanese secrets to living a life of clarity, intention, and harmony, drawing on the philosophies of minimalism, danshari, and wabi-sabi. These concepts, rooted in centuries-old traditions, offer a roadmap for modern souls feeling overwhelmed by clutter, consumerism, and the chaos of everyday life. Together, we'll explore how to create space, physically, mentally, and emotionally, so you can live with greater ease, purpose, and joy. Let's begin with danshari, a Japanese philosophy that's about more than just tidying up. The word itself is a blend of three kanji: dan, to refuse; sha, to discard; and ri, to separate. At its core, danshari is the art of refusing what doesn't serve you, discarding what weighs you down, and separating yourself from attachments that no longer align with who you are. It's a practice of mindful decluttering, not just of your physical space, but of your heart and mind. Unlike the frenetic pace of modern consumerism, which urges you to buy more to feel complete, danshari invites you to question what you allow into your life. It asks, does this object, this commitment, this thought bring me joy or purpose? If the answer is no, it's time to let it go. This isn't about deprivation, it's about liberation. By saying no to excess, you say yes to freedom, clarity, and peace. Now, picture yourself walking into a room filled with things you've accumulated over the years. A closet stuffed with clothes you bought on impulse. Shelves cluttered with trinkets you felt obligated to keep. Drawers overflowing with items you might need someday. Each of these things carries a story, a memory, or a promise of who you might become. But together, they create a weight you can feel in your chest, a subtle anxiety that whispers you're not in control. Danshari teaches you to confront this clutter with courage and compassion. It's not about throwing everything away in a frenzy, but about approaching each item with mindfulness. Pick up that sweater you haven't worn in years. Hold it in your hands. Does it spark joy, as Marie Kondo might ask? Or does it feel like an anchor to a version of yourself you've outgrown? If it's the latter, thank it for its role in your life and let it go. This act of gratitude is key in Japanese philosophy. It honors the object's purpose while releasing you from its hold. As you begin this process, you'll notice something remarkable. The physical act of decluttering starts to mirror an internal one. Letting go of a pair of jeans that no longer fit can feel like releasing the pressure to be someone you're not. Discarding old papers can feel like shedding outdated worries. Refusing to buy yet another gadget on sale can feel like reclaiming your time and attention. Danshari isn't just about creating a tidy home. It's about creating a life that feels spacious, where your energy flows freely because you're no longer tethered to things that don't matter. Imagine waking up each morning to a home that feels like a sanctuary, where every object serves a purpose or brings you joy. Imagine the mental clarity that comes when your space reflects your values. This is the promise of Danshari, a life where less is truly more. But Danshari is only one piece of the puzzle. Let's weave in the philosophy of wabi-sabi, the Japanese art of finding beauty in imperfection and impermanence. In a world that celebrates flawless Instagram feeds and polished perfection, wabi-sabi offers a radical counterpoint. True beauty lies in the natural, the worn, the incomplete. It's the appreciation of a chipped teacup that tells a story of countless mornings, the soft creases in a well-loved book, or the quiet grace of a single flower in a simple vase. Wabi-sabi invites you to embrace the impermanent nature of life, to find peace in the cycles of growth and decay, rather than fighting them. For those of us feeling overwhelmed by the pressure to have it all together, wabi-sabi is a gentle reminder that you don't need to be perfect to live beautifully. How does wabi-sabi connect to a clutter-free, peaceful life? It shifts your perspective on what enough means. Instead of chasing an idealized vision of a perfect home or a perfect self, wabi-sabi encourages you to find contentment in what you already have. It's about quality over quantity, about cherishing the simple things that carry meaning. Think of a meal shared with loved ones on mismatched plates, or a quiet evening spent journaling in a cozy, uncluttered corner of your home. These moments, imperfect as they may be, are where life's richness lies. Wabi-sabi also helps you let go of the guilt that often accompanies decluttering. That chipped mug you've been holding on to out of obligation, wabi-sabi sees its beauty, but it also gives you permission to release it if it no longer serves you. By embracing imperfection, you free yourself from the need to cling to things or identities that no longer fit. Now, let's tie these ideas to minimalism, a concept that resonates deeply with both Danshari and wabi-sabi. Minimalism, at its heart, is about living with intention, choosing to focus on what's essential and letting go of the rest. It's not about owning as little as possible or living in a sterile, empty space. Instead, it's about curating a life that aligns with your values, where every choice, whether it's an object, a relationship, or a commitment, reflects what matters most to you. For a modern audience drowning in excess, minimalism offers a lifeline. It's a way to step off the hamster wheel of consumerism, to stop measuring your worth by how much you own or achieve, and to start defining success by how much peace and purpose you feel. Let's paint a picture of what this looks like in practice. Imagine you're starting your journey toward a clutter-free, peaceful life. You begin with Danshari, setting aside a weekend to tackle one area of your home, say, your bedroom. You pull everything out of your closet, creating a pile that feels overwhelming at first. But as you touch each item, you ask yourself, does this bring me joy? Does it serve a purpose in my life today? 8. You thank the items that don't make the cut, folding them neatly and placing them in a donation bag. As the pile shrinks, you feel a lightness you hadn't expected. You're not just clearing space in your closet, you're clearing space in your mind. Next, you bring in wabi-sabi, choosing to keep a single, imperfect scarf that reminds you of a cherished trip, even though it's frayed at the edges. You let go of the pressure to have a perfect wardrobe and instead focus on what feels authentic to you. Finally, you apply minimalism, curating a small collection of versatile, high-quality clothes that make you feel confident and comfortable. You realize you don't need dozens of outfits to feel good. You need a few that truly reflect who you are. This process doesn't stop at your physical space. Danshari, wabi-sabi, and minimalism can transform how you approach your time, your relationships, and even your thoughts. Consider your schedule. How often do you say yes to commitments out of obligation, only to feel drained and resentful? Danshari invites you to refuse invitations or tasks that don't align with your priorities. It's about saying no to the noise so you can say yes to what lights you up. Wabi-sabi reminds you that your days don't need to be perfectly productive to be meaningful. A quiet afternoon spent reading or walking in nature, even if it feels unproductive, can be deeply nourishing. Minimalism encourages you to focus on a few key commitments, perhaps spending quality time with family or pursuing a passion project, rather than spreading yourself thin across a dozen obligations. By applying these principles, you create a life with room to breathe, where your time is spent on what truly matters. Let's talk about the benefits, because they are profound and far-reaching. Physically, a clutter-free home is easier to maintain, saving you time and energy. It becomes a space that supports your well-being rather than draining it. Studies have shown that cluttered environments can increase stress and reduce focus, while tidy, intentional spaces promote calm and clarity. Financially, living with less means spending less. By refusing impulse purchases and focusing on quality over quantity, you save money and reduce the anxiety of living paycheck to paycheck. Environmentally, these practices align with sustainability. The Japanese concept of Mottainai, which translates to "what a waste," encourages you to respect resources and avoid unnecessary consumption. By buying less and repurposing what you have, you contribute to a healthier planet. Emotionally and spiritually, the impact is even deeper. Decluttering your space and schedule creates a sense of control, a reminder that you have the power to shape your life. Letting go of objects or commitments tied to the past can feel like releasing old wounds, making space for new possibilities. Wabi-sabi fosters gratitude for the present moment, helping you find joy in the ordinary. Minimalism aligns your life with your purpose, giving you a clearer sense of who you are and what you want. Together, these practices cultivate inner peace, a quiet confidence that comes from knowing you're living authentically. Relationships improve too, as you prioritize meaningful connections over superficial ones. Imagine having the time and energy to truly listen to a friend or share a heartfelt moment with your partner, unburdened by the weight of excess. Of course, this journey isn't without challenges. decluttering can feel overwhelming, especially if you're sentimental or fear letting go of what-if items. Start small. Focus on one drawer, one shelf, or 1 hour of your day. Break the process into manageable steps and celebrate each small victory. If you struggle with guilt, practice wabi-sabi by honoring the imperfection of the process. You don't need to declutter everything at once, and your home doesn't need to look like a magazine spread. If consumerism tempts you, pause and ask, is this purchase aligned with my values, or am I trying to fill a void? Over time, these small, consistent choices become habits, and the habits become a way of life. Let's try a simple exercise to get you started. Find a quiet moment today and choose one small area of your home, a desk, a nightstand, or even your purse. Set a timer for 15 minutes. As you sort through the items, ask yourself 3 questions. Does this bring me joy? Does it serve a purpose in my life right now? If I let it go, would I feel lighter? Be honest with yourself, and don't overthink it. Keep what aligns with your answers, and let go of the rest with gratitude. As you work, notice how your body feels. Do you feel a sense of relief, even if it's subtle? This is the beginning of Danshari, the first step toward a clutter-free life. Reflect on this experience in a journal or a quiet moment of thought. What did you learn about yourself? What do you want to carry forward? As you continue this journey, weave in other Japanese concepts to deepen your practice. Kaizen, the philosophy of continuous improvement, can help you make small, sustainable changes over time. Instead of overhauling your entire life, commit to one small decluttering task each week or one mindful purchase instead of an impulse buy. Ikigai, the pursuit of purpose, can guide you toward a life that feels meaningful. Ask yourself, what brings me joy? What am I good at? What does the world need? What can I be paid for? The answers may lead you to simplify your career or hobbies, focusing on what fulfills you. Mottainai can inspire you to repurpose items creatively or donate them to someone who will cherish them, reducing waste and fostering connection. Let's pause for a moment and imagine the life you're creating. It's a life where you wake up to a home that feels calm and inviting, where every object has a purpose or a story. Your mornings are unhurried, with time for a quiet cup of tea or a moment of gratitude before the day begins. Your schedule is intentional, with space for the people and passions that light you up. You feel grounded, not because your life is perfect, but because you've embraced its imperfections. You're no longer chasing more. You're savoring enough. This is the gift of a clutter-free, peaceful life, and it's within your reach. As we come to a close, I want to leave you with a gentle nudge. The journey to simplicity and peace begins with a single step, a single choice to let go of what no longer serves you. It's not about perfection or drastic change. It's about small, mindful shifts that add up to a life of greater clarity and joy. Take a moment today to reflect. What's one thing, physical, emotional, or mental, that you can release to create space for peace? Hold that intention in your heart and trust that you have everything you need to begin. The Japanese philosophies of Danshari, wabi-sabi, and minimalism are not just tools. They're invitations to live with intention, to find beauty in the everyday, and to create a life that feels like home. You are capable of this transformation, and it starts right now with you.